Alright, y'all. So, today I'm coming out here while I still have the free time to make videos. I'm going to be talking about a ancient hunting weapon called the Atlatl. The Atlatl is the first weapon, or might I say the first compound leverage type weapon that man ever used to hunt with. Now this is the weapon they used to take down woolly mammoths, all kinds of big game, and it's a lot easier to make and use than a bow and arrow. The only downside to an Atlatl versus a bow and arrow is that with an Atlatl, you're not looking straight down your projectile to aim with. It's something you get to practice with to get good at. Now, that being said, it is still a very, very awesome weapon. It is something you can make a lot quicker, a lot easier, and it will last you a lot longer than a bow and arrow ever will. Alright, so we are going to look for a good tree to make our Atlatl thrower with, and then we're going to look for saplings to make our Atlatl darts out of. So, stay tuned. This one right here. Perfect. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut it here, here, and up here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now what we have is this. Kind of looks like a little hook, don't it? Alright, so that's this. This portion is nearly done. All you have to do is sharpen this to a good little point. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to do that. When you're cutting, you want to plan every single little cut so that you are not cutting towards yourself. Alright, now once you get it to about like that, you're going to want to smooth it out a little bit, narrow it down, and you're going to take that sharp point and you're going to round it off. Alright, so now we have this right here. Alright, now what this is going to be is just going to be your thrower, your spear thrower. Alright, so let's go find ourselves a spear for this. You want something that's kind of tall, about as tall as you are, if not a little bit more. So this one I'm going to cut off right here, and I'm going to cut off closer to the bottom. And it's going to be a little shorter than what I like for Atlatl darts, but it'll be a really good demo for y'all. Alright, and you want them as straight as possible. The straighter, the better. Now, if you have time to, I would actually recommend you take a large bundle of these and you tie them together so as they dry, they straighten. Alright? So I lucked out on this particular dart here, as far as the notch for launching it goes. So what we got is a long dart. It's not quite as long as I'd like it to be, but it's still pretty long. And what we got on the back of it, and I don't have to cut it now, is we have that little notch right there. Now how this is going to work is that hook right there, that sharp point, is going to fit into that notch like that. And this is how you're going to hold it. And then to throw it, you would just go and then you flick your wrist to push it. Alright? So, let's go test it out. Now, ideally, for any long-range shots, you would want to take feathers or duct tape or leaves or whatever and create some form of fletching right here just to keep it stable in flight. So let's go test it out. Now, I'm standing over here closer to the edge of the camera so that way you can see the flick and throw. Okay, you aim just like you're throwing a spear, but you flick your wrist to get it moving. So I'll do that again for y'all. Alright, now this is a very good weapon to use. I mean, you can tell there is a lot of power in that, but because it's kind of wavy, as you can tell here, it's not wanting to fly quite right. But what you can do is you can attach tips to it, which will make it fly easier or fly better. Alright, so let's do slow motion of how this works. Okay, so y'all can see how that works, but you can also see in that last clip at slow motion how when you throw it at long range it starts to tumble. Okay, you don't want that. Now without the fletchings, that would be awesome for really close range, like maybe some forms of fishing, even like catching small prey like snakes or whatever. You know, you can set the spear up in any kind of way. You can set it up so it's got the 4 prongs, like I showed in one of my much earlier videos. Yeah, it's a very, very, very useful weapon. And as I stated before, you could use this thing for fishing. I'm not sure if it's going to penetrate this ice or not, but it penetrates the ice. The ice was a lot thinner than I thought it was. That sucker's buried in there too. And there you go, the Atlatl. But as I stated, it'd be a really good idea to just go ahead and put the fletchings on it, so that way it flies straighter. Even at close range with the fletchings, it makes all the difference in the world. You can stick it straight in the ground. You can, yeah, it's just so much more accurate when you put the fletchings on there. But that's the Atlatl. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I will see y'all in my next video.